All right, I'm really worried about my fellow human beings. By the way, this won't be a short form, sarcastic, funny video. In case you were wondering about the other videos I've posted recently, I'm going to do a little Uncle Joe for you. It's sarcasm. It's sarcasm, okay? Sarcasm. All right. Coupled with some truth in there, but there's truth and sarcasm together. That's what it is. I wrote the bill. All right. So why am I here then? What am I going to talk about right now? I'm really worried about my fellow human beings because my fellow human beings are literally allowing themselves to be taken over. They're allowing themselves to fall victim to a tyrannical government that no longer cares, well, hasn't cared for many years about the people who actually make the country work. Now, some of you have continued on with your daily pursuits. Say you like your boat. You're going to go out and take your boat for a ride. You know what I would do? I would dry dock that boat for a while. And I would think, what is going on in my community? How much time, say I did 10% of what I do for fun and recreation and put that into trying to save my country. I don't care if you're on the left. I don't care if you're on the right. We have different perspectives, but, things I didn't used to believe in that I believe in now, like the 1%. Thank you, Tim Pool. Thank you, Occupy Wall Street. You taught me a lesson. Belated, but you taught me a lesson. The 1% is real. And the 1% is trying to rule the entire planet. The 1% is trying to coax you into doing something that they don't have a right to do on several fronts. The medical tyranny that's happening around the globe. People have a right to their own bodies. Remember My Body, My Choice? That used to be a really cool slogan when it was talking about two bodies, but now we're just talking about one body, so maybe that doesn't apply. Look, you don't have to agree with abortion or pro-choice or whatever your stance is on that, but let's just put that aside for a moment, right? So you have a right to do what you want with your own body, even if you do stupid crap. That's where I'm kind of libertarian. Although I'm starting to think, here's kind of a nuanced take on this because I love nuance. Some things aren't good for you. And I'm not going to tell you what's good for you or not. And I don't think the government should tell you what's good for you or not. I think you need to figure that out. Maybe read a book. Maybe educate yourself. And then realize, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't drink this pint of tequila in 30 seconds. Might not be good for me. Smoking pot is fine, but maybe injecting myself with heroin isn't good. Here's what I mean by we need to rein our anarchy in a little bit. I understand there are two groups of people out there who want to be anarchists. And right now, the country is burning. And the solution isn't anarchy. The solution is rolling up your sleeve and being part of the solution. Put your truck in neutral for 5 minutes and think about someone else. Don't think about yourself all the time. Don't think about, freedom. Okay, here's what freedom amounts to at this point. Freedom is not anarchy. Freedom is breaking loose from tyranny. All right? Doesn't mean you get to destroy everything around you. That's not freedom. We saw that last summer. That wasn't freedom. That was anarchy. And as much as I hate to say this, guess what? I want a little bit of security. Doesn't mean I want more security than I need. It means I want the government to do some basic things. And I know that is disturbing for some people who are just so anti-government. And I'm not that anti-government. What it amounts to is you are the government. You elect people to represent you. So we've all been asleep at the wheel for many, many years. And now some of us are starting to wake up. We're going to school board meetings, for instance. I've never seen the kind of activism I'm seeing at the school board level. And that goes for a few other places as well. People are going down to precincts to become precinct captain. In other words, if you don't like the way the vote's being handled, get in there and figure it out. Get in there and be a presence so truth and honesty and real counting will prevail. People are wondering about certain technologies that are able to possibly change the outcome of the thing that we had last November. Try not to get censored here. That's really important. And for you libertarian types and those who are trying to go all third party, guess what? You're never going to break through, because we saw Bernie, we saw Tulsi, and we saw Trump. We saw Bernie, Tulsi, and Trump. And you might want to go back a little bit, because I think they had it in the bag in 2016. They just didn't do their calculations enough. They might not have done anything in 2012, but they might have. We don't know. We don't know, because we really don't have the kind of secure elections that we need to have. We just don't have them. And if somebody says that we have robust, this is the disclaimer, robust safety measures that put, like what? Like what? Does anyone double count stuff? No. Okay, so again, for those of you who think I'm just shilling for Donald Trump, I mean, I hate to keep doing this, but it's not just about Trump. If you're a libertarian, if you're an independent, if you're an outsider, good luck breaking through the duopoly. Good luck. People say, well, Trump's just a Republican. And yeah, he's not the traditional kind of Republican. They don't like him. Newsflash, January 6th, that was a setup. That was a complete setup, and it's going to come out that that was a setup, and then people are going to go, oh, but it's not coming out right away, but it's out, the information's out there. Nobody in what we call the mainstream cares, because they want to keep that narrative going that it was worse than Pearl Harbor. You know, it was worse than, it was 9/11. No, I was alive. 9/11's coming up. The anniversary's coming up. And we're still fighting stupid, endless wars. And yes, no matter who the president is, we continue to fight those stupid, endless wars. At least Trump talked about not wanting to do all that. Doesn't mean he got it done. You're correct. Doesn't mean he got it done. What we have to do is get rid of the administrative state. Completely get rid of it. Bye-bye. So long to the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, the NSA. Imagine reporting honest news and then your government starts to spy on you because you're reporting honest news. So much for your channel being banned. The government is now spying on you. Great. Fantastic, right? So where do you go to get truth? Oh, we presented our case before the Supreme Court, and rather than rule on the case, the Supreme Court decided not even to hear the case. This is why I'm really depressed today. Because you look around and all the institutions that are in place, remember the checks and balances, the founders were smart, but they couldn't foresee this political takeover of every institution that we have. They couldn't see that. Although they did say sometimes you had to spill some blood in order to kind of refresh the tree of liberty. And some of those people were patriots and some of those people were tyrants. They knew that there would need to be battles. And we are in a battle. And what's weird is we're in a generation where people don't want to get dirty. They don't want to take up arms against one another. So it's all cyber warfare. It's all information warfare. I don't know what else to say about much of what I'm talking about right now other than wake up. and get involved. Don't just sit there and be a keyboard warrior. I know the people who can change things are working jobs. They're working 40 or 50 or 60 hours a week. Sometimes they're working 2 jobs. Sometimes they even have another side hustle going on. They don't have time for this BS. They don't have time for the school board. They have time maybe to work their job, come home, pop open a cold one, talk with the wife for a while, and then pass out. Or obviously, if you're a woman, maybe talk with the husband. Sorry, I'm using traditional family stereotypes. I know that's not cool these days, but I'm doing it because I grew up in the era of mom and dad and kids. And again, my apologies. I'm not saying there can't be other types of families, by the way. I'm just letting you know that I'm really sorry for what I said. So in closing here, folks, this isn't just about you. It's not about your pursuit of happiness anymore. It's about you becoming engaged in trying to save the republic. Now, you might be asking, what am I doing? Well, I'm involved at the school board. I'm involved with my local church. You may think church is stupid. You better find a church. If you're, I'm saying if you're a Christian, you better find a church that believes in truth, actual truth, not some pie in the sky prosperity gospel. There are no moral truths or absolutes. That's not going to work anymore. You need to start offending people too, by the way. You need to start to stand up and you need to start offending people. Not intentionally, but if you're engaged, and I know people will say, well, that's a mean person. No, that's a person who understands what's at stake. And a lot of people around you are going to think you're crazy because they just continue on. They wear their face covering. They take their injection. They do what they're told. They do what they're told. And then they go, see, everything's fine. Just go along to get along. Just do what you're supposed to do. That's not a long-term solution to this problem. What that is placating and kicking the can down the road. And we've done that. I'm reading Ross Perot's book from 1992, United We Stand. We've been kicking the damn can for 30 years. You know what Ross Perot proposed? Spending cuts and tax increases. For you ultra-conservatives out there, tax increases. You know what Ross Perot said about the Reagan era? Trickle-down didn't work. You know what happened with the deficits in the 1980s? For you conservative types that like to love Reagan, and I liked Reagan. I liked him. All right? But those deficits went crazy. And everyone says, well, I've heard some conservative type commentators say, well, it's because Reagan had a Democrat Congress and lots of money was coming in and he was letting them spend it. It's not fiscal conservatism. It's why the debt doubled in the 1980s. It was $4 trillion when Ross Perot wrote about it. And now we're at 30 trillion. 30 trillion. And Biden wants to dump another 6 trillion. I mean, look, you need to vote for candidates. I don't care if they're libertarian, independent, conservative, Republican, whatever the constitutional party. I don't care what party. Please, oh, please find people that are going to stop the madness and they're going to mean it. These Republicans in name only, or these people who go out there and they say they're fiscally conservative, that's a joke. It's a complete joke. And Democrats, I think Democrats right now, their goal is to just divide and destroy what's left of the country. I'd like to be more optimistic and I'd like to be more, I guess, fair with my Democrat friends. But number one, I don't have Democrat friends. Number two, I'm seeing most of the destruction coming from that party. And then I'm seeing Republicans that go along so they don't get destroyed in the media. And you've got to learn to stand up for yourself at this point. You've got to say, I don't care if I get destroyed by the media. I want to save this country. And by the way, I'm not against raising taxes. I want these large corporations to pay like 30% at this point. something crazy, something to make them think twice about doing what they're doing, outsourcing, and now being all political and woke, whether it's Delta Airlines or Coca-Cola or pretty much everybody on Wall Street. Stop targeting people because they don't think the way that you think. And by the way, you lefties right now who are surviving some of this for the time being, they're coming. They're coming for you. Some of you progressives already see this because you're not in the mainstream of neoliberal, neoconservative thought. So if you say something like, gee, maybe we should not go to war anymore, someone's going to come and get you. Someone's going to come and shut you up. So in any event, I've got a 7-year-old kid and I worry about his future. He's a great kid. And I look at his life and I look at how I've tried to keep things normal for him for the last year. How long can I do that for? How much longer can I do it? Unless we fix it and turn it around. If we don't fix it and we don't turn it around, he's never going to have a normal kind of life. And I'm going to be worried sick all the time about him and about everybody for that matter. So that's my little video spiel. I know I've been a little crazy goofy doing these short form videos, and I'll do more of those because sometimes you just have to laugh at this crap. You have to make fun of it and be sarcastic, but sarcasm is not going to win us back our freedom and our country.